Sup peeps, Crypto Enigma here, welcome back to the channel baby, yeah! So it has come to my attention that my two most recent videos have already been patched, and one of them being a video on how to cheese Erlang using a barrier glitch that I discovered. So in this video, I will be patching the recent update and will be showing you how to once again cheese Erlang, but this time by exploiting the Azure dust transformation, which there happens to be some confusion over. You see, many people believe that the recent patch has removed the possibility to remain transformed while using Azure dust, noting that Erlang now quickly reacts to you by using attacks that negate your transformation. And while this is definitely true, there are still certain steps you can take to once again pacify Erlang using the Azure dust transformation. And this mechanic, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact what we will be exploiting in today's video, which if done correctly will allow you to simply stand back and watch Erlang die with very little fighting involved. Now, before I begin, I have to go over the stats and equipment first because there are certain things that you have to have in order for this method to work. And so, first off, you're obviously going to need Azure dust, so use it. Next, in Foundation, the only thing that you really want to focus on is martial arts, and you'll want to max out all of the abilities for the staff spin. Do whatever you want with stamina and survival. For your stances, you'll want to get everything you see here for the smash stance and simply unlock your thrust stance. You can ignore pillar. For mysticism, you'll want to max out immobilize, and for alteration, max out cloud step, and you can ignore strand. Now, in transformations, it is extremely important that you max out the abilities that you see here because we will be heavily relying on Azure dust for the majority of the fight actually, and so it's obviously important to make him as efficient as possible. As for your equipment, for your staff, you can see here that I'm using the Fubon staff, which you won't have in your first playthrough, so I recommend using the Spider Celestial staff instead for its crit rate. Do not worry about your staff's attack damage. For your vessel, use the plantain fan. Now, for your spirit, it is absolutely necessary that you use this spirit here, the Elder Amorworm, and it is also absolutely necessary that you upgrade this spirit as much as you possibly can because the effectiveness of this strategy will be heavily dependent on how much this spirit has been upgraded. Now for your armor, you have to use the golden armor set, and it will also be in your best interest to upgrade this set as much as you possibly can. However, upgrading your armor isn't as necessary as upgrading your spirit, so if you have to choose, upgrade your spirit. For your curios, as you can see, I'm using 3 spine in the sack, which will increase the effectiveness of the spirit that you're going to use, and the fox brush, which increases the duration of your transformation. Now, if you're on your first playthrough, you're probably only going to have 3 curio slots, in which case you'll want to use 2 spine in the sack and the fox brush. Now, for your gourd, it is again absolutely necessary that you use the Sunset of the Nine Skies drink. Otherwise, you will not be able to perform this method, and you can use whatever soaks you prefer, but I highly recommend using the ones that you see here. Finally, you can use whatever medicines you'd like, but I highly recommend using amplification pellets and anything else that raises your attack. Now, as you enter the arena and Erlang begins approaching you, simply use the plantain fan and begin running towards him. This will cause him to jump into the whirlwind, thereby damaging his shield. So, wait until his shield breaks, then immediately use your spirit, which will begin spreading poison in every direction. Now, this next step is important and must be performed exactly as I'm about to explain it. As soon as you revert to your normal self, Erlang will begin attacking you, so try as best as you can to dodge his entire first combo, whatever it may be, until he stops attacking, then immediately transform while making sure that you're standing away from him. As you can see, if you did this correctly, you have safely transformed while Erlang remains pacified. Then simply walk over to Erlang and nudge him further into the poison. Now simply stand back and watch as Erlang's life begins to slowly slip away from him. Now, to quickly clarify some things, in order to safely use this transformation after the recent update, you must now transform only after Erlang finishes a combo. There are moments after he's done attacking where he'll begin pacing around or talking to you, and those are the moments when you'll want to transform. Additionally, it is important that you transform while standing away from him, because if you accidentally stagger him while you're transforming, he will react to that by nullifying your transformation. So again, if you perform these steps correctly, simply wait and watch him slowly die until you reach his second phase. Once you reach his second phase, it is absolutely necessary that you perform this next step. Also, no matter how much damage you may take, it is imperative that you refrain from using your gourd until the appointed time, and you'll soon understand why. So at this time, you may want to take an amplification pellet, and the moment that he appears in the sky, begin running towards him while watching the axe to see where it's going to land. Dodge the axe, but try to be near the handle by the time that it hits the floor. Then roll backwards to dodge the shockwave, and this should place you near Erlang once he rushes down. Then immediately immobilize him and hit him with your staff spin until you get your fan back. Once you have your fan, immediately use Cloud Step, then once again activate your fan. While in Cloud Step, take any medicines of your choice, then summon the boys. As Erlang is taking damage from the whirlwind, use your heavy thrust attack to help break his shield, then try dealing as much damage as you possibly can with the intention to reach his third phase as fast as possible. Once you reach the third phase, you're in the home stretch and you've basically already won. And so now is the time for you to chug your entire gourd until you fully recharge your fan. And so now you understand why it's important for your gourd to remain full up to this point. Now, these next steps are also important and must be performed exactly as I'm about to explain them. Once he's done shooting lasers at you, he's going to use this attack here, and you absolutely have to dodge this attack. Then immediately run away from him as far as possible, and doing that should bait him into using this attack here, which you also have to dodge successfully. And upon doing so, immediately use your fan because Erlang is going to charge at you. As he begins taking damage, at some point you want to either use your thrust attack or your smash attack. As the whirlwind disappears, immediately use your spirit again. Then use Cloud Step and immediately strike him for some quick damage. Finally, immobilize him and back away from him before once again using your transformation.
You made it this far.
Of course, you want to make sure that he stays within the poisonous area, so push him further in whenever he gets too close to the edges. Now simply put the controller down and wait for him to die.
Walking his path is no easy feat. and we'll test you relentlessly.
And that was that, ladies and gentlemen, the second Erlang cheese. If you made it to the end of this video, I absolutely appreciate you, and I cannot stress that enough. But for what it's worth, thank you for watching, and if you happen to enjoy this video, then you may enjoy some of my other content as well, so do feel free to check that out if you so wish to. But again, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I love you, baby. Mwah.